That man, that young man, I forgive him.
And we are live. My name is Nico Lagan, and I'm too conservative for the conservatives. My co-host, Rob Ambrose, not woke enough for the liberals, so we are the political orphans. Here are the top stories of the day. Charlie Kirk's memorial was today. Mark's Carney recognizes Palestine as a state. And we will be doing a deep dive into the new liberal hate bill, C9, called the Combating Hate Crime Act. Get your comments ready because the show starts now. What's going on, man?
What's happening, brother? I see you got your Nordiques hat. Classic. They haven't been a team since like 20 years, but yeah, no, it's cool.
But I grew up, like I was telling you before the show, man, my grandmother, I'm the only man of my generation. Like I have like 8 cousins or 9 cousins, all girls. I'm the only. And I used to watch hockey with my grandmother. That was her thing. So we would watch hockey all the time. She was a massive, massive fan of the Nordiques. She's from Quebec. My family's from Quebec City, right? So I was at the store earlier at Winners and I was looking at hats because I sweat like a pig. I bring them to the gym, so I destroy my hats. Yeah. I saw that. I'm like, there was one perfect size. I'm like, I got to get it.
Yeah.
I got to get it.
You got to get the Nordiques hat when you can.
It's a cool looking hat, man. It's a type of color I don't wear, like that really like blue. I like it.
Sky blue.
I like it.
Yep.
What are you going to say?
Today? I'm just going to say, so some pretty big, it wasn't a very busy news day, but the couple of stories that are out are pretty big. I think as far as Canada goes, I think recognizing the Palestinian state is a pretty huge story. It's got a lot of implications. It's basically a massive change in Canadian foreign policy over the last 50 years. So I mean, it's certainly going to be impactful one way or the other. Depending on how you perceive it. I think there's no surprise how we're going to perceive it, but we'll get to that. Did you watch the Charlie Kirk thing today?
We should have covered it, man. I did not think about it.
Yeah,
we should have covered it because, well, as a Christian, I should have covered it. I could have found, I don't know what the hell I was thinking. It's just normally Sundays, I try to stay away from social media. Like normally Sunday, I spend it with my family as much as I can because I work all the time, right? So, but that's the type of event as a Christian I should have covered because one of my buddies from Alabama texted me and he's like, bro, I don't know if you're watching the memorial, but it is literally a praising Jesus moment. So yeah, I should have covered it. But that's where the excerpt, you saw the excerpt that played. That's Erica, which is Carly. Has said that she forgives the killer. God damn, that's. Yeah. I saw it the first time earlier and I wasn't expecting that. It's a clip I took from Alex Jones, right? I'll play it off afterwards.
Yep.
And then I'm just like, I got watery eyes. I'm like, God damn. Because I heard that story, like, I don't know if I've ever approached this on the show, but I'm a big fan of psychedelics. Like I've used psychedelics throughout my life to expand my meditation practice. And one of the guys I've done ayahuasca with out of Montreal here is, I don't know if he still does it, but I believe he is. He's a stuntman in Hollywood. Like he's done a bunch of movies behind the scene. He's a martial artist. He's a stuntman. And he does a lot of skating.
Yep.
Like skate on asphalt. He's one of those crazy bastards that do all the flips and he's a maniac, right? But he looks like Jesus Christ. The first time I saw him, long hair, small beard, like he was dressed, with the white linen. I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Blue sash, white linen.
But after the first trip of ayahuasca that I've done at his temple, where, you're coming down and he always serves massive, it's a Peruvian thing, but they serve a massive amount of fresh fruits and chocolate cake. It's the weirdest thing, but so you're just sitting, so you're sitting in a corner, you're sitting in a circle, and everybody's eating, everybody's down from the trip. We've experienced something magical. And Matthew, which is the name of the shaman, he spent, like, just to put it in perspective, probably 10, 12 years in the Amazonian forests.
Sure.
So he's been doing this forever. And he starts talking about how when he was younger, early 20s, his mother called him one day and she's like, I'm breaking up with my boyfriend. Just wanted to let you know. He was in Hollywood on set to record.
Okay.
And next thing you know, his mom's murdered.
Oh,
yeah.
No way.
So she left the guy. The guy couldn't take
he
it. He killed her. Yeah. But the story is that how Matthew forgave him. He starts explaining. I'm telling you, that story pierces right through your heart. He's right there in front of you explaining how, you know, I came to realize, imagine loving something so much that you can't let it go. You end up killing it. And now you have to live with that on your conscience every single day, that the thing you loved most, you murdered it. And he's telling that story, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you saying? Like, I cannot comprehend. Just talking about it, I'm happy that my eyes are kind of covered by the cap, because that story makes me emotional just talking about it. But once he said it, plus you're coming down from a ayahuasca trip, so your heart's open, you're literally super emotional, and he starts telling you that story. So when I saw Erica Kirk say that she forgives the shooter, I'm like, I can't even imagine.
Wild. That's pretty wild.
Yep.
I don't think I think she's a better person than me. I don't think
most of us.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be saying that 3 days or 3 years even after. But yeah, good on her. Yeah, it's funny. We did that show last night, and that was a good time. I also because you were like, yeah, you guys can smoke, drink. I'm like, okay. So I had a big bong rip.
Oh, you were stoned as shit.
I was stoned as shit. But as the show went on, I'm like, wow, this is fun. So I just did a big bong rip before this one too. Although I've done that a few times lately. Now since we moved to the evening time, that's around the time I have my bong rips at night, right? When we were doing it at noon Eastern, not getting high. Noon, not a degenerate. But yeah, no, it is fun. That was a good show last night. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I did not expect us to start talking abortion for 30 minutes. Yeah. I don't even remember how the hell we got to that subject, but it's interesting. It was cool to have my perspective as a Christian, to have your perspective as a liberal. Then you had Wiretap that was more of a logical. Yeah, like he correlated it to immigration, and then you have Tiana that just fucking, I had a head bleed. I can't have children. It's gonna kill me if I.
The only cock I worship is my husband.
I absolutely love to record content with that woman. She's a mad person. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And actually, I actually found that abortion / immigration argument extremely interesting. Just for those on the show here who who didn't watch last night, Wiretap, is that his name?
Yeah,
he was talking about abortion, and he had argued like, how do you feel about? And then he talked about how immigration levels are extremely high, and he mentioned a very interesting fact that I didn't know. But if you take the number of kids who were aborted over the last 30, 40 years, let's say it's, I don't know, whatever percent of society, that is now the that's the exact number of immigrants that have been brought into the country. So, and I'm not even going to assess that statement. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just a statement of fact. And that's very interesting. I guess the argument was, if we hadn't have aborted all those kids, we wouldn't need extreme numbers of immigration to keep our society running. And I found that a persuasive argument. And it was the first time I'd ever heard of this. So I still am kind of thinking over myself to look into it. But my original take was, no, I think I don't like abortion. I think it's an ugly procedure, and there's no sugarcoating it, but I think it should be allowed. And the basis of that argument is that I don't believe a fertilized egg is life. Now, I think
that's always where the conversation comes from, right? This is always that.
It's really, where do you believe personhood begins? Because if you're someone who legal personhood begins at conception, and that's a reasonable opinion. Like, reasonable people hold that opinion.
Thank you.
If that's your take, then I don't begrudge anyone their position. If I believed that, I would also be pro-life, right?
Yeah.
So I understand a pro-life position flows naturally from that fundamental belief. And so that was my only thing. So as far as like, I don't believe it's murder, although I believe it can be like 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. I believe that is. But let's say 4-week abortion, I don't consider that murder. But if we shift in the argument and say, okay, forget the morality of it. What if it's just a pure national interest issue? It is in our national interest to not abort babies for economic, financial reasons. And yes, mothers do have rights, but perhaps, whenever rights clash, you always have to rank the rights. You always have to pick whatever your version of greater good is. And you can certainly make the argument that is the greater good to outlaw sort of the culling of 30% of your society from a purely economic standpoint. Forget the morals. Just economic national interest. And that I found very interesting, because I have to think about this, because the number is very similar, right? Like I was saying yesterday, where I said multiple times on this show, the estimate of millennials that actually got murdered due to abortions, like 30%, somewhere around 30% mark, which is insane. And that's like a third of the generation. More or less the same number of people we've had to bring in, right?
But then you do have the solutions, like I've mentioned a couple of times too, where we need to rethink our abortion policies. We need to make them easier for the good parents out there, instead of making it so complicated that they need to go somewhere else to adopt, because the numbers are showing that there are more people waiting to adopt children than they are kids waiting to be adopted. And if that was an option that was presented, like you think about the Planned Parenthoods of the world, if instead of proning abortion, they would prone adoption. Know what I mean? Saying we can help you get to term, we can help you get there, then we will take the child and put it in the system.
Well,
but those options are never discussed. And as I said before, that there should be an incentive to having children, which, considering we pay 43% of taxes of income, our taxes on our income, there's a lot of ways the government could incentivize families for having children, because the main reason families say they can't have children is because it's too damn expensive.
Well, and when did abortion kind of become in, like the 60s/70s, right? That's around the time that a lot of people who were very powerful believed we had too many people. And you could imagine there would be interest in some of these people in pushing programs that limited the population going forward. And if you were going to do that, you can't murder 30% of the population, but maybe you can prevent them from being born. There's
ways around it. And what I liked about yesterday is just to be able to have a civil conversation about it. And I didn't make it about religion either. As much as I'm a Christian first and foremost, I didn't make it about that. No, I like to go the common sense, a common sense approach. So it was a good conversation, but this is the type of conversation we want to have on those mashups.
Oh, absolutely.
You have a bunch of people, and we all had a different opinion, but at the end of the day, we all agree that there's a problem.
There's a lot of agreement. Yeah. It was and just entertaining. Guys, if you didn't watch that show, go check it out. You'll definitely want to watch that. It was really interesting. Yeah, that girl, man, she's a live wire.
I fucking love it. I love it.
Oh yeah.
She swears more than I do, bro.
Yeah, and I'm also genuinely impressed with those long-winded rants without a breath, without a stop or pause, like no emotional pause. It was just a steady drum beat.
Yep.
And that's actually a pretty hard thing to do. That's this very skilled.
Go check her content. Go check her content, because she literally holds a cell phone and goes on fucking rants all the time. That's what she does. She doesn't normally record the type of content that she did there. It's about the first time. It's the second time we had it on.
I guess
she doesn't do that.
Rant content, like not talking kind of thing, just ranting.
What really, I mean, she doesn't do long. She doesn't do long form content. Like, she does snippet of 2-3 minutes on her cell phone, and that's pretty much it. Wiretap is the same thing. He doesn't do live content like we do every day. That's why it's interesting to have those guys. You see, you see the guys behind big accounts and you're like, oh shit, that's who that person is. Because often they don't really show their faces, or you see their opinion in a 2-3 minute last, not like you and I that discussed it
me and you
at
are
length
like,
every day.
and we also do other things that not a lot of people do. Like we talk about our personal lives a lot, right? Like
Yeah.
I feel like people actually think like they actually know us. Like, if you watch a regular watcher, you'll know, oh yeah, Rob's moving to Halifax next. I mean, that's probably a security.
You know, Rob's kind of gay. And,
yeah. You know that closeted guy on.
No, but there was a good comment actually. Hold on, there you go. Jim is saying that anti-woke, not gay liberal.
Yeah,
that'd be a great tag right there. Anti-woke, but not gay.
Not gay liberal. Actually, I actually was gonna suggest that you, because I was thinking, I was like, you know what, because I changed it last night. First of all, I changed
it's great. Anti-woke liberal. It's because you didn't want to get ripped into.
No, Tanya's just ripping into liberals in general. Like, fuck these guys, and come up with these crazy things. And I'm sitting there like, fuck, I don't want them thinking she's talking to me. Or if they do think, because it just said the liberal, and so the audience, if they didn't know before, they're expecting some fire. We're like, oh, he's gonna come right back at her, and they get to me, I'm like, no, I agree with her. I'm agreeing. I agree with what she said. But then I was gonna say, I thought that was a good change. I was gonna suggest that you did something similar, but it looks like you already did.
As I saw that you had yours, I'm like, fuck it, we're just I'll push it forward too, because that's the truth, right? So, is looking. Hold on, let's take a couple of comments before, because I gotta. Go for it.
Rob, the Phoenix looking fire. Talking about the Phoenix Act 2, of course. Healed up nicely. Yeah, thanks, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, it.
You know what it is in man term? That's like a cum shot target.
Nah, brother, it's fucking rising from the ashes, just like me.
Yeah, I'm rising from the ashes.
Yeah, my erection, it's rising from the ashes.
Yeah, there you go.
Jeff Henderson, damn girlfriend wanted more cuddles. Oh yeah, I see. Because he said I'm late. Yeah, I mean, you gotta do both. Just put the show on and then cuddle with her.
I don't know if it's the cuddling show type though.
Yeah,
or is it the type of cuddling show? I don't know. I
feel like it's a good actually litmus test. Cuddle with your girl.
While
you watch the show, and if she's super offended, like she's not for you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, she's for the streets.
Have you guys? Hold on. Have you guys seen the Valhalla VFD analysis on the Charlie Kirk autopsy? The coroner saying Charlie was the man of steel, and it was a miracle that there was no. Yeah. There, I've seen some people post like the doctors calling the coroners calling him the man of steel. Then behind the shooter, there was a picture of Superman in one of the pictures. Like people are seeing Superman everywhere.
Yep.
That whole thing is just conspiracy upon conspiracy. It's going to become the JFK stuff, like, because it is weird. If you look at the bullet wound, it seems to come from the front, like the blood starts spilling from the front and not the back, which is kind of weird. But that whole thing is weird.
Remember we heard something around the first day was like it hit the vest and ricocheted up. Any word on that? Do we know anything about that?
There's so many conspiracy theories on this, I can't even keep track of them. This is the problem with conspiracy theories, man. There's so many people with so many opinions, and way too many people with way too much time on their hands. So that's why I like to talk about the aftermath of Charlie Kirk. Like I've said this on a couple Christian podcasts last week, where I think that Charlie Kirk's death will have brought more than what he could have alive.
Yeah, okay.
As bad as this sounds bad, but
I want to show you something. I want to change something. I just noticed here in the comments, because remember we were talking about it's a good litmus test to let your girl watch our show.
Sure.
I'm reading this conversation. So Jeff says, "Damn, girlfriend wanted more cuddles." I got boy waiting. Logan says, "She got to let you hang with the homies." And then Jeff says, "No, she hates you guys."
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. So you know what to do. Yeah, that was the litmus test. Fail.
hold on, let me check.
That's actually really
Logan
hilarious.
White. Nico, did you see the Rebel News video of SPVM suited up in riot gears arresting Antifa?
Suited and booted, baby.
SPVM. Is that not Montreal? SPVM Sûreté. What is it?
I bet you it is.
Société Policière F du V Montréal.
Either that or
No, it is
Roman.
definitely Montreal.
Okay.
No,
I
it's
was gonna say,
definitely
remember, like,
it's definitely Montreal. I just can't remember. Service de police de la ville de Montréal. Yeah, okay.
old Roman legionnaires always had like something above their banners like SPVM or there's some 4-letter thing. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up actually.
Arresting
So what? That's the
Antifa.
Montreal cops.
Yeah, but supposedly that they were. Logan White is saying that there's. Yeah, that's from 1 day ago, so that's probably. Oh, there you go. I believe that is probably this one right here, Rebel News. Yeah, well, might as well say it. If that's what Logan White wants, that's what he shall receive. I believe this is what he's referring to. Oh, I know exactly where that is.
Mask, of course. Mask. That's a dude, bro.
Dude/woman.
That's why the trans always they loved COVID when the mask hit.
You know what I love?
I can hide my man face. What?
Look at this thing right there. That's a lot of horse poop right there.
That is
nothing like getting arrested right next to horse poop.
Yeah. Imagine if they're shoving her on the ground, just rubbing
it in. Whoops!
There
you go.
Where, hold on there. I was gonna. Yeah, no, finish up.
Oh no, I'm just checking. They're not doing much. They're just arresting them. But I think that this is related to something else that woman from Rebel News. I can't remember what her name is. Her name is Alexandra Lavoie. Yeah, I think she posted something yesterday where she was showing the actual protest. But yeah, there you go. I saw that earlier. So obviously that's what they were. That's where this happened.
Okay. What's the protest here?
Who the fuck knows why the left protests anymore?
So it's a primary left protest.
Oh wow, that is pretty fucking funny. So I can translate. Well, right here it says schools for education, not for indoctrination, and there's a lot of trans stuff in the back. So wow, good for people.
Always a lot of trans stuff.
There literally looks like there's 20 different groups protesting together. This is what seems to be happening more and more.
Intersectional
right? People are
activism, brother.
Yeah, because this is definitely about trans. There's a trans flag.
I think wokeism or far leftism is better thought of as like, what's that Roman mythological creature with multiple head, the Hydra? I think it might be called.
Well, oh yeah, like that dude.
He's cut off one head, and it's another will grow. It's just like there's different facets. Like they're all different things of the same thing. Like the trans activism and the queers for Palestine and whatever the fuck these guys are activists for. It's all like it seems like separate or different causes, but they're actually not. They're at the root. They're all this one cause. You would probably call it Marxism.
Oh, 100%. If you look at the guy, you see my mouse, right? If you look at this guy, Jesus, like he is exactly what I think of the woke. Like this, if I picture a woke person, that's exactly what I'm imagining.
The weirdo dancing there? Oh, Jesus.
Yes. Like this, if I'm thinking, if you think wokeism, look at this guy. This is...
Yeah. Oh, that guy is woke. Personification.
Oh, yeah. But somehow I doubt that that's the music they were dancing to, because that sounds like Jewish music. I'm just saying, I really doubt that they were dancing to that.
Or it could be either Jewish or maybe like Latin American. I kind of got that vibe.
Sure,
too.
But it sounded pretty Jewish to me.
And there's an update here from Jeff Henderson on his girlfriend. If she hated us before, she'll really hate us next. We're like making her the star of the show. He says, but she's a great cook. Yeah, okay, I get it. I mean, fair play.
Man, that's not enough, man. I cook very
yeah,
well.
I mean,
too,
you gotta
so.
be, yeah, it's gotta be like a great cook or one other thing from a list, either rich, great in bed, fucking what else would be a good thing?
A good mother.
A good mother, yeah, okay. Well, if you pick one of those three, if you have it, then she's a keeper, even if she hates the show.
Before we continue to, I wanted to show a couple of videos from Charlie Kirk's memorial today because they were actually pretty good. But before we get to that, Tuesday, which is on Tuesday, we will have constitutional lawyer Marty Moore from the Justice Center of Constitutional Freedom to come speak about Bill C-9. John Carpe's traveling through BC, so he is not available, but we will have Marty Moore from the same organization. And on Wednesday, we are joined by Camille El Sheikh. He is the organizer of the Million People March that just took place over the weekend all across the country. He is a man who believes that Christians and Muslims can not only get along, but fight side by side to protect their children against the trans agenda. I had a conversation with him last week. I told him I wanted him on the show, but it wouldn't be an easy conversation because I want to ask him why does he think that? Because I was on a meeting with him a week and a half ago where he was one of the speakers. I didn't know the guy. But he is friends with David Creighton. I know David Creighton is a good friend. They're good friends. So we'll see, man. It's going to be an interesting talk on Wednesday to see if he believes that Christians and Muslim, he's a Muslim, obviously, but he believes that they can get along. We can get along.
I was just laughing at the latest update from Jeff's girlfriend. Don't ever show her this episode. She will really hate us. He says she lets me do things sexually that should be illegal. Okay, she's a keeper. Keep her around, brother.
See, that's
Logan
where
says,
you and I.
Jeff, too far. Nah, bro. It's not too far. Maybe
that's where you and I disagree, man.
Well, I mean, it's not. I'm not talking. Well, okay. Tell me your thinking on this. Tell me your reasoning.
There's a psychological connection between what you can do to a woman in bed, or what she's ready to do in bed, or what she has done in bed, with her state of mind when it comes to her craziness level. Remember, I showed you the graph, right? The hot to crazy matrix.
The matrix.
You have to make sure that she's smoking hot, but even then, they don't make for great mothers. Like, I don't feel like getting stabbed, right? So, but like we said, like they explain on there, women are minimum a crazy of 4 on 10. You can't go below 4. But if you can find a 4,
what was I gonna say? A 4-10 and an 8 hot or something is like your marriage zone or something like that.
Yeah.
4-10,
but
8 hot.
If she's a 4 crazy,
8 hot,
at 10 hot, she's a unicorn. Capture it so that we can study it. That thing is fucking us.
6, like 7 crazy, 7 hot. These are fun, but you don't want to get involved. I don't know. I would for in real life though. I think I'm all for like as Jeff says, things that should be illegal in bed. But I don't know. I think for me, what determines like whether it's actually crazy is like, if she's just like crazy sexual, but not like going out and fighting anyone in town. I don't have an issue with that. In fact, I kind of like that. It's more like if you're crazy sexual and also crazy sexual all over. Like you have to have respect for yourself as well.
Yeah, but that normally, from experience, that normally goes hand to hand.
I get it. There's correlations, but there are definitely a lot of exceptions to the rules.
Yeah, but there's a lot more in that group that they are not. You're going to look a lot longer. Chris H is saying that Christians and Muslims got along for thousands of years in the Arab world. I agree. But my opinion on this is that you need to keep Muslims in check. You need to have one priority, like one religion that is priority over others, because if you let them, they will take advantage of it. And that's what we're seeing in the West. We are seeing that left, right, and center where you let them create a two-tier policing like what we're seeing in the UK, what we're seeing in Canada.
Yep.
And they take advantage of it when you could do that to Christians and we wouldn't take advantage of it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's nothing to take advantage of. We don't do that show of force. We're not trying to take over. That doesn't go with the religion itself. So when one religion is prone to make the world Muslim. So
and
this is where I'm very interested in having that conversation, because he's actually a very likable dude. Like I actually like the guy. He seems like a super nice guy. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation, in my opinion. I'm very curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully you don't go all attack dog on him and be like pretty chill, because he sounds like he's in good faith, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just at the end of the day,
last night on the show you were saying like I warned him, like I might come at you hard. I'm like,
well, no, but I'm gonna ask him a question that I never hear, because we talked about this yesterday, and one of the things that bothers me the most is you see a guy like me, I will call out Christians for doing unchristian things.
Sure. Yeah.
If they're stepping over a line or they're being lukewarm, I'll be the first one to call them out. I don't see that coming from their side. I don't see the moderate calling out the extremists to say, no, we're here to stay away from this. Why are you trying to put that in place here? We're not happy with this. We don't want this. We're here to get along with Christians, with whatever other religions there might be, Buddhists. All I'm saying is you don't hear those people. No. So I understand why the Million People March exists, because they have a common goal. Like I understand how Christians and Muslims can say that they don't want that trans ideology to be taught in school. They don't want that indoctrination. I get it. But you do not see the Muslims on a day-to-day basis talking against that. You don't see Jewish people on a day-to-day basis talking about this. The only people that really talk about it when you talk religion are Christians that talk about it. And, if you look at what happened, we all know that the Muslims are not for that at all. But why would they get involved with the left when the left is pretty much opening up their door to do whatever the fuck they want? So why would you bite the hand that's feeding you right now?
Yeah. I mean, I think,
so those are the type of conversation I want to have with him by saying I'm going to go hard. They're just simple questions, but I don't know anybody that has the balls to answer them. So hopefully he does.
And the thing about the moderate Muslim as an archetype, it's not that it's a myth. I think almost anyone in modern society in the West have met moderate Muslims. The problem is they are within Muslim Islamic culture, they are extremely they're not the norm. They have no real power. And they're basically cowed. They're scared to speak out against the more extremist one. And so it seems like they don't exist. It's not that they don't exist. It's just, and it's one of those things where like, yes, they're being cowardly. At the same time, it's not the same as going against, speaking out against Christians, because Christians are not going to behead you or might murder you, right? But that's a real threat for the kind of people that we're talking about. That's an actual thing that might happen. But
that's still exactly my point. That just makes my point.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I know. The point is they're not the same. There's a fundamental difference. And the overall, like the downstream position of what we just agreed on is that you really should be not allowing large numbers of people, of Muslims coming into your country, just as a pure self-defense mechanism. This is just, I don't care if someone says Islamophobic, like it's a stupid word. We're just noticing patterns. We're just pattern noticers. You don't have to call that a phobia. We're just saying, why did the rape rate in UK go up 750% since 2000? Why in Germany and France, they each went up 600 and 550% respectively. And Poland's rape rate since 2000 went down 5%. What could possibly be the common thread here? Oh, it might be that those three countries took in enormous numbers of Islamic refugees and Poland took in next to none. Poland's like the only European country who said, no, we don't want them. And so they do not have them. And miraculously, the rape rate goes down 7% in that one country while it skyrockets through the fucking roof in the other three. These are just patterns we're noticing. Any moron who wants to call that a phobia is fact phobic. They can fuck themselves.
I just want to take this before we get to the next one because I find that interesting. Chris H is saying, but Nico, the Christian West caused chaos in the entire Middle East and killed 1 million people in Islamic.
Who cares? We allow
no, but hold on.
Because of that.
But hold on, what story you're talking about? Because I don't know. I've never heard of the story that Christian killed 1 million people in Indonesia. Pardon my ignorance, but I've never heard this story before. And even when I looked at it, I did a quick search. Really quick search. I don't see it anywhere. So I don't know what you're referring to, Chris H. If you want to explain it further so that at least I can research, because right now I can tell you, I don't know, but I'll happily research it and get back to you on it because I do not know what you're referring to.
Specifically, talk to us. But I want to add something on to what you're saying. Even if this was true, let's for this part of the argument, let's assume that's true. What fucking relevance does that have? So we have to allow our society in 2025 to be destroyed because our ancestors also did shitty things? If our ancestors were alive today still doing those things, we'd be saying, nah, bro, don't go and do that. But they're not. So is that what this is? Some geopolitical scorekeeping? Because our great-great-grandfathers fucked some people over, we have to allow our society to be destroyed? That's nonsense. It's a nonsense argument. And again, I appreciate the comment, Chris. I know that,
but I'm curious to see.
Probably came off a little hard.
Just give me.
I did have a big.
Give me more information.
Show, so I'm a little excitable. But yeah, we do also want to be factual here too.
Yeah,
is this a real thing?
Yeah,
like people will say, "Well, Christianity did this in the Spanish Inquisition." Yeah, it was fucking horrible. But that was 500 years ago, and they're not doing that today. So why would I care? What relevance does that have to what people are doing here and now today? It's And I get why Chris says this, because I do, Chris has been a fairly regular commenter, and I can tell he's a good faith guy. But this is just the same kind of like logical nonsense that is baked into woke left thinking. Someone somewhere 400 years ago did something bad. Therefore, someone here today who would never, even though none of us ever did that, we all have to accept guilt or accept some terrible thing to happen to us because 500 years ago, someone else did something bad. I just completely reject that in its entirety. And so should any logical, rational thinking person. We cannot be responsible for the sins of people that we have never met and we have no control over. That's a self-hating, like guilt-obsessed, nonsensical way of left-wing thinking. I don't understand it. That's one of the reasons why my name is anti-woke liberal, because of exactly that kind of nonsense. The only people who can be responsible for their actions are themselves. That's it. That should be the guiding principle of society. You are responsible for your own actions, period, but you're also expected to be accountable for them. But you are not responsible for your ancestors' actions. Nobody thinks a father should go, oh yeah, they might, but no one thinks a son should go to jail because his father committed a crime. This is the same kind of logic. It doesn't make any sense. Go ahead, Nico.
All I was going to say is the only mass killing I can find in Indonesia is really 1965 to 1966. So it would fit between the 1960s-1970s. But I don't see anything about Christian there. All I'm seeing is communists were purged from political, social, and military life in Indonesia.
I mean, considering Indonesia is all Islamic today, and we know how Islam gets spread by murdering people and conquering and colonizing, it kind of seems
I'm gonna have to look into it.
It's probably the Muslims.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it. Because I don't know. I don't like to talk about stuff I don't know about. So I'll look into it, Chris H. I'll do my best to do some research on it tomorrow. On that note, let's actually 45 minutes in get to the first story. I guess 39 minutes, not bad.
There's an update from Jeff's girlfriend. We'll take those at the end of the show. We'll actually get into the show right now.
Here is hold on. This is not the one I wanted to talk about. I wanted to see. Where this one right here. Yeah, Chris Sage, the CIA organized the Jakarta method. Yeah, that's what I was seeing. That was what they were like. It was done by the CIA, but again, I don't see the correlation with Christianity. If you're referring to the West representing Christianity, then I can somewhat see what you're saying. But the CIA has nothing to do with Christians. Like, it's not
No,
Christian principle. It is not Christian principles to go after people and commit genocide. The guy I
no,
believe to
sure.
be God allowed people to kill him for other people's sins. So this is not what Christianity is about. But again, I don't know about it. I'm going to drop it right now because I have to do some research to give you
And
a
also,
proper answer, and I really don't know.
even if the CIA murdered 10 million Indonesians, why should that have anything to do with our modern immigration policy? The only questions that we should factor in when we discuss our immigration policy should be, what are the effects of this policy? Are they good for this country? Are they good for society? Or are they bad for society?
Yeah.
Why we would consider the fact that someone else somewhere in the past did something bad that has nothing to do with immigration policy in Canada in 2025.
Yeah.
I don't know why we
Yeah.
would consider that in any way, shape, or form.
Agreed. But I still like history, and that's something I'm not aware of. So I'll
Sure.
do my best to do some research tomorrow.
Sure.
Here, I just wanted to play a couple of videos just to show them, because just in memory of Charlie Kirk, I was still a fan of his. So still pretty impressive. They're estimating somewhere like 70 or 80,000 people.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever been in a crowd like that when they're singing. It gives me chills, bro. It's insane.
One more time. So I'll throw up my head, praise you again and again.
Damn.
Who is that singer?
I don't know him.
Okay.
And I know it's not.
Damn. Wow, that's a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's funny. I'm watching this, and because I grew up in the church, right? So
Yeah.
I know exactly how that feels to the people there, or to you,
Oh,
or anyone
Like,
who believes.
I have goosebumps right now.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
This
Anyone
shit is.
who is a Christian, and that's a big part of their
Yeah.
life. I can watch that scene and be like, yeah, that they would love that shit. You like, even I think it would be cool to be there. Just
like-
that number of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just gives a really kind of very interesting, almost trance-like energy. And there's a lot of studies done on religious and spiritual experiences based on those sorts of things. But yeah, if you believe that, if you're a Christian and you believe that, to be in there, or just even watching it like there, I can absolutely see how that would have a very powerful effect.
Oh, brother, one of the things that I love about going to church, I don't go as much as I like because I don't like the pastors. They're too weak in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I listen to Christian music at the gym. Like when I'm working out, if you see me, I'm singing by myself and I'm working out because I'm listening to this type of music. And bro, it's trans, like exactly like you said.
Yeah.
And one of the things, there's something very magical about music. Like ayahuasca, one of the things that is a massive component of your ayahuasca trip is musicians. And often where I've done it, there were 5 or 6 musicians live. You literally get a concert during a massive trip. They stop to let you go, like to let you experience, and then they bring it back. They start playing, they start singing. Bro, it's trans. It's absolutely trans, like it's insane. So this, love it. I love being surrounded by Christian, hands up, and just vibing to that. The reverberate, like just the vibration.
I was watching you.
Oh, bro.
I was watching you. I was like, oh yeah, he's having an experience.
Oh man, I'm fucking crying like a little bitch right now,
Yeah.
man. This type of shit just hits me. It's because if you've experienced that, like I like to go to arenas, even if they're playing hockey, they're playing football. I feed off that energy. Like people are just so.
that's
in
a real
sync.
thing.
They're
That's a real.
They're
thing.
just. Everybody's connected. I don't care that it's sports. I don't care it's football. I don't care that it's singing. I don't care what it is. But when you have such a massive amount of people together, it's like everybody vibrates at the same rhythm. It's insane. I absolutely love the feeling. Love it.
Yeah. I mean, so this is an interesting comment by Wise Guy. It says that amount of people shows the power of the media to create mass psychosis. I'm willing to bet many of them never bothered listening to his show. Not against Kirk,
Yep.
but it's definitely not normal. And I'll throw it to you here for a second, Nico. But I would say I agree with you to an extent, but I don't think that was actually about Charlie Kirk at this point. I think this has become a Christian thing, and I would say most people in that room are probably strong Christians. And like I said,
just the way that they're like this, just this.
Watching
the hands
that
up is such a Christian thing. Yep.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is a Christian thing. You don't see that anywhere else where people are just hands
come
up.
Into my life, Lord, right? Come into my life, Jesus. Yeah. Like we had speaking in tongues at my church every week.
Oh, that's fucked up.
That's weird shit. Watching that doesn't have the same effect on me because I'm not a Christian in the theological beliefs. But I can absolutely see how it will have a very real effect and powerful as well on people who do believe it. But yeah, Wise Guy, I don't think the media created that, because I think I would agree with you if that really was about Charlie Kirk, but I don't think that is at that point. I think that's they're finding a shared bridge to Jesus, is what they would say. Through Charlie Kirk.
And you know what? I agree with you. I don't think it has anything to do with Charlie Kirk anymore. I think they're using the fact that it is Charlie Kirk and he was so renowned to be a Christian, but now it's becoming a Christian thing.
Yeah, it certainly rang the bell, but it's created some sort of a revival. You call it
Christian revival, 100%. But I got to tell you, man, I listened to Christian music way before I became a Christian. There's something so powerful about live Christian music where people are just on their knees and they're just. There's something powerful to it, man. It's such a great experience to be part of. If you've never experienced, you don't need to be a Christian to be moved by those type of song. There's an energy. There's something so strong about it that it just blows my mind every time. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. And what's, we haven't heard too much about this in the media, but I wouldn't be entirely shocked if this also had because this seems to have a very powerful effect in the Christian community within the United States, especially. But I got a feeling like most Christians have probably felt under attack for a while now.
Yep.
But maybe it didn't feel, I'm sure some do, but most of them probably, it didn't feel like a violent threat. But now I think a lot of people are seeing what happens to Charlie Kirk as a direct attack on Christianity. Right. Whereas the left and the people who did it, they probably see it as an attack on hate. But Christians will probably see this not as an attack on conservatism, but on Christianity specifically, because Charlie Kirk was so outspoken about his faith. And that kind of stuff in this kind of polarized environment could absolutely have a very important and unfortunate downstream events. You could imagine a young group of Christian, disillusioned young men who like, it's time for us to take the fight to them or something, right? Form groups or something. Like, it feels like that there's a lot of polarization going on, and it feels like now the Christians so far, I mean, I think the right as a whole and Christians specifically have really done themselves a lot of they've done really well in the response to this, because it is quite measured. No, there aren't really anyone like threatening violence in return or anything like that. And you hope that there's nothing behind the scenes either. But yeah, so far, I would say the Christian right has it's been a good look for you guys.
And that's how it should be. Like the way they responded up to now as the Christian community is the way Christians should behave. So I'm very happy to see how they're reacting. And it's just a beautiful thing to see events like those. I would have loved to be there, not because I was that big of a fan of Charlie Kirk, just being surrounded by that many other people that believes the same thing as I do. It is insane. The power that this has is just, it's trends-like. It's really, you're on the trends. Like, you're not there anymore. You're kind of in between realities. It's insane. I absolutely love. It's like really deep meditation.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we
there was
take
another
or
just give me a second. I wanted to just play another video because it's his wife talking. I played kind of an excerpt at the beginning.
Yeah,
it's
cross,
like 2 minutes
Savior
long,
said,
give or take.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
And he was definitely demon-possessed by the drugs, the culture, the brainwashing, the little community. It's Satanism, folks. You go to a Trantifa event, they are literally devil worshippers. Turned out he had child porn type stuff on his computers.
Fucking Alex Jones.
Bestiality.
It's like beautiful moments. He's like fucking pedophiles and trans.
To be the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
Hold on. Yeah, but that's Alex Jones for you, right?
That's Alex Jones. They're all pedophiles and Satan. like beautiful moment going.
You just experienced a woman forgiving the murderer of her husband, and they're all pedophiles.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so Alex Jones.
Yep. You know, he's the type of guy that does Brazilian jiu-jitsu and makes eye contact with you. That's the type that talk about ruining a moment. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Let me see what's...
It needs something that will lead people away from hell in this world and in the next.
It really is true. Sin is hell.
It needs young people pointed in the direction of truth and beauty.
It feels good at first, but then it's just totally enslaves.
Oh, shut up, Alex.
So I promise you today, every part of our work will become greater. I am tremendously honored to be the new CEO of Turning Point USA.
Okay, now Alex goes on a 2-minute sell of his products and service. Fucking Alex. Hey, they're all fucking pedophiles.
Pedophiles, Satanists, buy my pills.
The worst part is I didn't listen to the whole video because I wanted to experience it with you guys. Yeah. I should have known better. I took it from Alex Jones. I should have known.
That's hilarious. That's your takeaway?
They're all pedophiles.
Yeah, a bunch of pedophiles, Satanists, Trantifa.
Trantifa. I love that term, by the way. Trantifa is awesome. I don't know who made that up, but it's great.
Yeah.
Fuck.
No, I mean, yeah, like Chris, Alex Jones is a bit off these days. He doesn't seem to be on point. Yeah, I mean, I think we're all laughing just how ridiculous he is, but that's such an Alex Jones thing.
I'm not surprised by his comment. I'm just like, oh, come on, bro. Really?
Yeah.
That's it? That's what you got from this beautiful speech?
Did you ever take a day off? Just being yeah, that's funny.
Oh, Alex Jones. So want to get to the next story? You want to take a couple comments?
We'll take one or two. Dawson says, man, we are quick to believe this kid was solely responsible. It's a setup. Yeah, I mean,
I don't believe that for a second.
What's the conspiracy theory world saying about this? Because I haven't heard too many, but I'm sure they're out there.
Oh, yeah. But I don't believe this for a second. It goes anything from the main one. The main one's about Israel. The main one is really that. But there's a lot of videos out there that
because he was about to go against Israel or something.
He wasn't going against Israel, but he was starting to say that he was refusing money coming from Israel, and he was a big proponent of Israel. Like, there's a lot of videos out there of him talking about how, he's been to Israel, he's been to Jerusalem, he's been to all the places that Jesus Christ was, and he's like, I felt the living God. His videos about that are, if you're a Christian again, you're like, I would love to go to Israel just to go to those places, go to Nazareth, go to where he grew up, go to where he was crucified, because all of those places actually exist, and you can go there. The Bible comes alive, and that's what he said. So that part, that's a beautiful thing, but he's always talked for Israel. Mm-hmm. But it looked like in the past few weeks, he's passed a few comments where he was starting to question, not saying that he was saying anything directly against Israel, but he was questioning it. And people are thinking that's why he got taken out, because he's so powerful when it comes to the youth. Because he was such a proponent. Like, look at what's going on right now. Charlie Kirk is being celebrated around the world. Everybody knew conservatism in the world, they all knew who Charlie Kirk was. You might have not followed him like gospel, but you knew. Everybody that's a conservative in the world knew who Charlie Kirk was. The movement that he started with Turning Point USA, they have chapters all over the world. Like that guy, again, I've said this many times, but he made it okay for young conservatives like the 16 to 24 to be conservative. He armed them with the power and the knowledge to know how to debate people and do it properly without calling names. So he was known. So to have a guy like him start talking against or questioning Israel.
Oh, I see.
If you were such a big proponent, and the day after Ben Shapiro saying that he's going to take over Turning Point USA, you're like, okay, mini Israel is going to take over.
Very clearly pure Israel, right?
Yeah.
Very pro-Israel. Very pro-Israel.
So it's...
I mean, you can't believe something like that without some evidence, but it makes sense. The theory makes sense.
It's a possible. The thing is there's so many good possibilities out there. Would it surprise me that that's what happened? It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. But you don't necessarily want a guy like him to be able to start talking against you if he has the ears of a lot of the conservatives that back you.
A lot of young conservatives.
Because he wasn't talking to the wokes, right?
No.
So the wokes don't like Israel in the first place.
And he wasn't even talking to the 40 and 50-year-old conservatives, right? So, and it doesn't even matter if, like, they're not going to change their mind anyways. But if you can get the youngest generation, that's going to set policy for the next 50 years, right? So,
and exactly. So is that what happened?
The stakes are high.
Is that what happened? Sure, it's possible. Do I think it's crazy to believe that? No, not really. I could see it. I could see it. Do I have any proof? I don't. But again, that's why I like to talk about the aftermath. This to me is inspirational to see the way Christians are reacting. And I'd rather tell that story than trying to debate what actually happened when we'll probably never know what really happened. But one thing that's for sure, it wasn't a lone gunman at 22 years old that did all of this and evaded the FBI for like 3 days. Yeah, I don't believe that for a fucking second. Not for a fucking second.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think a lot of conspiracy theories could just be like brushed off just because the theory themselves doesn't make any sense, or there's a lot of flaws in the logic. This one does make sense. Like, obviously, that doesn't mean it happened, and you'd still want to see actual proof or evidence to actually make a statement like that. But it is plausible. It's interesting that you mentioned that about Charlie Kirk teaching young men how to debate, because up until a couple years ago, there was just no culturally acceptable way to respond to so many woke left talking points, that a lot of conservatives and young male conservatives would have just been browbeaten into submission, right? And because the woke left set the terms of the debate. They decided which arguments you could have and which you couldn't. And they made it so that the ones you couldn't were the ones that could be used against them. And to be able to teach young men how to respond, that is a pretty powerful thing. And I understand, I think, a lot of where his influence came from. I think he wielded a lot of invisible influence, influence you didn't see because they weren't out there wearing Charlie Kirk hats or Charlie Kirk shirts. And a lot of people were probably affected by or influenced by Charlie Kirk without even knowing it, right? They were influenced by that guy who was making that argument, but that guy got it from that guy, and that guy got it from Charlie Kirk. So yeah, it's pretty influential guy for sure.
And it's easy to see a lot of the people look at the recent videos of Charlie Kirk where he's surrounded by 1,000 people, 3/4 of them are wearing MAGA hats. That's a very new thing. I've been following Charlie Kirk since the days where there was a few people there and there was no security. He was just there. It was him, a couple of guys on a camera, and people were just ripping into Charlie Kirk. He wasn't showing up to a nice place. He was showing up on a battlefield ready to do war. That's what he did. So people tend to forget that. They look at what it looks like now after he's been doing it for almost 10 years. Go back to where it started, where he's debating those teachers, he's debating those students when everybody hates him. This is what's impressive, that he stuck to it for so long and had such an impact.
Yeah. I mean, it's my esteem of him has gone very, very much up since he's been shot. I didn't hate him before. I didn't think badly of him, but I didn't think much of him. I just didn't think much of him at all. But I kind of had lumped him in as just a fairly bog standard right-wing activist. But no, I mean, and if the purpose of shooting him was to silence him, that had just the biggest backfire in the history of the world, because it's amplified him a million times.
Like I said at the beginning, he's going to have more impact in his death than he could ever have in his life. And that says a lot. That says a lot, because he's 31 years old. Like, he was 31 years old. This is what's insane about him. I've been following him as his elder.
I think he started.
Like, I'm looking at him and I'm like, in his teens, he started Turning Point USA. I think he was 19 years old or something like that.
Yeah. Super smart too. Great. Like, I've seen him quote so many Bible verses, like, that was like very specific for the situation, and he quoted it. Like, that's pretty hard to do.
There's a good reason why he was that good at what he did, right? So, Mr. Woke has problems with this camera. Now, let's take a couple of comments there. Hey, Bob, what's going on, bro? I haven't seen you in a while, man. What is going on? Lori Dodd is saying, absolutely, he was in very hostile atmosphere. That takes guts. Oh, yeah, 100%. And this is the part that most people don't remember, is all the fighting that he had to go through, because he was showing up in bad spots. The videos now are completely different, because you can see, like, the vast majority of people were supporting him. And how many videos have I seen of him just say, hey, to his supporter, guys, take it easy. Let that person speak, defending the person that was going to go against him. But at the beginning, there was nobody defending Charlie Kirk, and there was nobody. But I've seen just today, I saw a video where it was Charlie Kirk. He was about to take a question, and even before the person started talking, because they were obviously trans, Charlie Kirk said to the crowd, guys, stop. Let that person speak. Like, he was defending that person's. So this is the type of dude you were dealing with. And love what he said or not, you gotta fucking respect the way he handled it. And that's what amazes me by a guy like Charlie Kirk. And unfortunately, I don't see anybody capable of taking over what he was doing. I know guys that in the US, there are massive influencers that are trying to do what he was doing. So they started showing up over the last week to those universities, but they don't have that magic. Like, there was something magical about the way he handled it. It was a beautiful, beautiful thing to be that calm, be able to quote, like you said, verses after verses after verses. But you know, the thing that I like the most about Charlie Kirk is not even the way he was, is really the reason why he did it. He did it as a Christian, but he was not a pastor. He was not there to preach Christianity. He just talked about Christianity as in, this is why I debate you guys. This is why I believe it's so important to have civil discourse, because of my Christian values. And that speaks to me, because I do this because of my Christian values. My life would be a lot easier if I went back to the corporate world. I'd make a shit ton more money, but that is not what God wants me to do. God wants me to do what we're doing right now. So when I look at a guy like Charlie Kirk, that to me is inspiring, because he did it for what he believed in, not because it was easy, but because it was the right thing to do. And that's what amazes me from a guy like him. He wasn't there to preach, but if you asked him, why do you do it? Because I'm a Christian. That's why I do this.
I mean, as you know, for those who watch the show regularly, they know. Sorry, I just dropped something.
He drops shit on the ground all the time.
You also know that I regularly drop shit on the ground.
I don't know what the fuck that is, but you drop it all the time.
I'm not a Christian. Technically, I'd be an atheist, although I don't really like that term, because it suggests you don't believe in anything. I do believe there's something more. I just don't know what the answer is. That's not my point. But as someone who's not a Christian, it basically doesn't have a dog in this fight, but also has their finger sort of on the pulse of the culture. I can definitely sense a vibe shift in the way Christianity and Christians are perceived. by society at large, even over the last 6 months to a year, in a positive direction. I think the woke left had been very successful at convincing people that Christians were bad, Christianity was bad, because of course it was, right? Just they're the ones who did the colonization and that are against the gays and are against every single aspect of woke left ideology. So of course that is their job to demonize Christianity. But I think I sense a shift from the broader public that they're just not really believing it. See, I think the best way to think of like how society or culture works is you've got the 15 or 20% of activists on either side. And these are like the zealots, the true believers.
Yep.
Most people are a 60% in the middle. They're just basically saying, convince me one way or the other. And sometimes they're persuaded by these guys. Sometimes they're persuaded by these guys, but they're not zealots. They're not activists and they're not extremists. They're not insane. And when it's becoming more and more clear over the last couple of years that woke leftism is literal insanity, a lot of them are shifting over and saying no. And this is what we talked about last night. I believe we're at the start of a long-term cultural where conservatives are culturally dominant. And I pinpointed to Charlie Kirk's death as perhaps the moment when the left's cultural dominance ended. And they have been doing that since the left has been culturally dominant probably since Bill Clinton's election, 96. So that's about 21 years or 19 years. Or no, I think Clinton was
30 years. You mean 29 years.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. 29 years. Yeah. So, and before that,
he's a liberal guy. He's not a numbers guy. Remember.
And before that, it was actually conservative dominance. That's your Ronald Reagan's, that era, and that couple 25 years of conservative social dominance was a direct reaction to what happened just before that, which was the late 60s, early 70s, very extremist left-wing politics. And so it seems that we're running in these 25 to 30 year trends of social dominance, and this is probably the beginning of the conservatives one, the ones where it's the left that needs to be worried about what they say in public, the left that's going to get canceled, the left that needs to be secret, while the right will get to dictate the rules of what is acceptable.
I don't think this is where it's going to go. It's just going to bring it's just going to bring consequences to speech.
Sure.
The left wanted anti-free speech messages, as in you shouldn't be allowed to say this, or this. The right is mostly asking for accountability. This is where I come from. Like I don't want. I do not stand. You know this. I do not stand to cancel people. I do not stand to block people from speaking.
No.
If you want to say something, say it. But I do believe that there's consequences to your actions. If you come to my face and you start attacking my wife verbally, you can expect to get your ass knocked out. That's a direct consequence of your action. Yeah. And what happened with Charlie Kirk? You want to celebrate his death? No problem. No problem. So, but don't be surprised if your employer does not want you as an employee, or the person that rents you his house. Do not support that type of attitude. This has nothing to do with free speech. Free speech allows you to say whatever the fuck you want. But if you have that right, it's a double-edged sword. There's always consequences. And this is what the right is proning right now and should continue to prone. And if they don't, I'll be the first one to say so. Like I was one of the first ones to make a video about Pam Bundy. When she said we're going to go after hate speech, I'm like, fuck, no, you're not. And I was happy to see that all the conservatives that I follow in the US are all like, hey, what the fuck are you talking about, woman? Shut the fuck up. This is not what we're about.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you that it has been the left that is canceling people and trying to control speech, and it is a right that wants to have free speech. But if my theory is correct and that there's actual, trends between each side getting their cultural dominance, I would argue that although for most of our lives it's been the left, I think maybe it's just whoever's got cultural dominance is the one that tries to control speech, because they know they
fascism,
can say whatever,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's fascism right there.
They know that they can say whatever they want. They don't need free speech as much. And it's always the side that's not in power that is begging for free speech. And so it'll be interesting to see what the right does here now. Let's say hypothetically 5 to 10 years from now, it's pretty clear we're in a conservative, right-wing dominated culture. I wouldn't be shocked at all if all the issues that we saw in the last couple of years are just reversed. It's the right now that's going to be trampling on free speech, and the left that's going to
I'll be the first one to say no. I'll be the first one to say no.
There will be some.
Yeah.
I think we're led to believe this is a left-wing thing, and maybe it is. But basically, it'll be very interesting to see what the right does over the next couple of years.
Yeah, agreed. Let's get to the second story after an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes. Let's talk about Canada recognizing, I don't want to say Canada, I stand corrected. Canada did not recognize the state of Palestine. Mark Carney recognized Palestine as a state, not Canada. People need to stop to say Canada recognized Palestine, because we did not. Just like we did not call Donald Trump. Donald Trump did not get Canada on the phone. Remember when he says that? Canada called. No, we did not call. Somebody from Canada called, but Canada didn't call. So here is a little video from, I believe it's American too. Yeah, it's ABC News that's reporting on Mark Carney recognizing Palestine as a state. So did the UK, Australia, and France is doing it tomorrow.
Canada, the UK, and Australia now formally recognizing the state of Palestine. The three nations making a coordinated announcement saying their effort is designed to preserve the possibility of a two-state solution. France is scheduled to host a summit on recognizing a Palestinian state tomorrow at the UN General Assembly here in New York. Canada's statement also calling on Hamas to release the remaining hostages and to play no role in governing the territory going forward. ABC News foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burridge is in Jerusalem with more on this. So, Tom, how did the announcement come together here?
Yeah, look, France has been leading the charge on this. It's been working with Arab nations and other European nations over the last few months. Look, these countries, are saying that because the war in Gaza goes on, they are calling for an immediate end to the war, the full release of the hostages, and this is a response to the fact that hasn't come about. They're also saying that the idea of a two-state solution, something that previous US administrations over the decades have tried to work on, tried to get the Israelis and the Palestinians, the more moderate Palestinians, to come up with a solution.
I like how, did you see how he corrected himself? I noticed that the first time I listened to this. Like, he listened to what he says.
Israelis and the Palestinians, the more moderate Palestinians.
The Palestinians, I mean, the more moderate Palestinians.
What?
See how he corrected himself? I like it. Not the Palestinians, the more moderate Palestinians.
To come up with a solution where Palestine would have its own state living side by side peacefully with Israel. These nations, Canada, Australia, the UK, France tomorrow, Belgium, Luxembourg, they are all saying that two-state solution, the idea is at risk of dying out. Now, we've just been in the West Bank. This is largely a symbolic move. It's not going to change much on the ground. And actually, Israel has already started retaliating for these recognitions by these European and other Western countries. Israel is planning to expand a settlement east of Jerusalem, which we've just been in, doubling the population there. And it's also threatening to fast-track another plan to build many more settlements right through the central part of the West Bank, which would effectively, if it went ahead, split the West Bank in two. So there's a lot going on here. There's real repercussions potentially in terms of Israel's actions. But for Palestinians, they're welcoming it generally. A lot of Palestinians say they wish this happened many years ago, but it won't change much on the ground immediately.
And Tom, you touched on this, but President Trump said this week during his visit to the UK that he disagrees with plans to recognize a Palestinian state at this time. How does that factor in here?
I think it's fundamentally important, right? I think, look, this is one of the key questions in terms of foreign policy. And I think for the first time in a long time, a US administration is diametrically opposed in terms of its position to pretty much all of its key Western allies, of course, apart from Israel, on a very fundamental question. That said, the Trump administration and the Israeli government are adamant. They are condemning this. They say this is a reward for Hamas. Those other allies, France, the UK, say this is not a reward for Hamas because they argue that Hamas wants to annihilate the state of Israel. So therefore, going for a solution where Israel would peacefully coexist with the Palestinian state would not be something in Hamas's interest. And they're saying Hamas will have no role to play in Gaza after the war, and they want the immediate release of the hostages. Now, the Family Forum, representing the hostages, is also condemning this. They say any recognition of a Palestinian state should be contingent on the release of the hostages. And look, Arab nations are also joining in this. We're expecting that conference at the UN in New York tomorrow.
So many.
So it's a good point, right? If you don't remove Hamas from there, you cannot expect Israel and Palestine to live in peace. It's not going to happen.
No, I agree.
And,
I mean,
and here's the post by Mark Carney, just so you know. Canada recognizes the state of Palestine. Canada recognizes the state of Palestine and offers our partnership in building the promise of a peaceful future for both the state of Palestine and the state of Israel. And he's signing something because it has nothing to do with anything. People seem to be stealing that from Trump. You know, his first presidency, he would always do photo ops when he's singing something that does nothing. It looks like he copied Big Don on that one.
Well, I mean, they all make fun of him, but he knows marketing. He definitely knows marketing.
They're all copying. That's Trump 101 right there.
Yeah.
You're posting a picture of you signing what exactly? What the fuck are you signing?
Empty stack of papers.
You're signing your name on a piece of paper like Mark Carney. Yeah, cool. Cool story, bro.
I mean, as a policy, I just I think as the guy said, it's not going to do anything. It doesn't change anything. I don't think it's smart. It's just stay out of it. I don't see how Canada has any interest in it.
Yep.
You know, even if we actually could make a difference one way or the other, maybe you could say, okay, they should actually be involved, but I would still disagree. But at least then I could understand your position, even if I don't agree. But why are you risking harming your relationship with the United States, which it does, to make this empty gesture that does nothing but appease the UK and France? It's pure politics, right? It's designed to appeal to his left-wing base. As far as it puts risk of even more space, even more issues between us and our number one trading partner. I'm not saying that, there are certainly some issues that it would be worth harming our relationship with the United States, right? If it's a moral issue strongly believe in, okay, sure. And I'm sure there are some people, this is that issue for them, but for the vast majority, maybe not vast, but the majority of Canadians, they don't really care about Israel, Palestine. They do not want to risk their personal economy. They don't want to risk relationship with their number one trading partner for some empty virtue signaling gesture that doesn't do anything.
This is, if you guys want to read his whole statement, you can find it at pm.gc.ca. I'm not going to make you go through this, but the only part is this is interesting because this, when you're saying that it's symbolical, like that, it doesn't mean anything. This phrase pretty much says it. Like, Hamas has terrorized the people of Israel and oppressed the people of Gaza, wreaking horrific suffering. It is imperative that Hamas releases all hostages, fully disarm and play no role in the future governance of Palestine. Hamas has stolen from the Palestinian people, cheated them of their life and liberty, and can in no way dictate their future. This is what I find interesting. Why do you not say that on your fucking photo ops? Why was that not included on that nice picture right there? Because you know that your left people, your woke left, don't fucking read pages of art. They don't read pages of text. They just want a fucking thumbnail somewhere that tells them what to think. Because you read this and you're like, everybody out there pretty much agrees with this unless you support Hamas. I don't support Hamas and I don't support Israel either. Like you said, I don't give a fuck about what's going down there, as in I can't do anything about it. We have enough problems here, but why not just say that? Hamas is the problem. Why would you not just say that from the get-go? And I'm not saying Israel is white clean here. They aren't. There's bullshit going on from both sides of that fucking fence. Let's be real here. Let's be real. Can you really have a free Palestine without Hamas being removed?
No, you can't.
You can't.
But yeah.
So why not just say that fucking midget Carney? You know he's not going to say that out loud. He'll write it somewhere on his own website that nobody outside of this dumbass goes to see, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, there's no good guys in that battle there. Chris says Canada, along with the West, provide tons of weapons to Israel.
Yep.
Trudeau and Carney are sending weapons to Israel, billions of dollars in weapons. I mean, yeah, it kind of makes what he's doing here a little hypocritical. And I'm not sure, like, has he backed away from the two-state solution, like as official policy? Because up until now, that has been official policy. This almost seems like he thinks that's not possible. The funny thing is, I don't think it's possible either. I think the two-state solution is cooked. But the question is, what other option do you have? I don't see any other option. And Israel bulldozes the whole thing, tries to kill as few civilians as possible, which, depending on which side you talk to, some say they definitely are not. Some say they definitely are. I don't have an opinion because I don't know one way or the other. But
turn it into a beach resort and just build Trump towers. Is that
basically? I don't know. Maybe
I shouldn't laugh at this because this is not funny. I'm not laughing at this.
I think the only solution I can see is that Israel's just going to keep going until they basically have completely occupied all of Gaza, and then they will do their best, because they're not going to slaughter 2 million people or 1.5 million people. They're just not going to. They might try to pressure the Arab countries to take 1 million, maybe. I doubt they will be able to. America's going to have to pay a lot of money if they want to convince Jordan or Egypt to take 1 million Palestinians. And then they're just going to, I guess, put them back where they were, try to keep Hamas out, and hope that they can get a generation of Palestinians who don't want to wipe them off the face of the earth. Because right now, you can't give true control of the Palestinians if you're Israel, because every male over the age of 5 wants to destroy you. You can't let people like that in your country. You just can't. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not going to be.
I don't know either. But it's not our problem at the end of the day.
No, at the end of the day, you're right.
It's not my problem.
That's the reason why I say it's such a complex problem, and it has nothing to do with our interests. Certainly not our direct interests, and we have enough problems at home. We just have enough problems at home to be dealing with other people's problems.
Agreed. Pierre Poliev had something to say, obviously. Prime Minister Mark Carney is recognizing the Hamas state in another effort to distract from his record of rampant crime, caused death, immigration, and job loss. So obviously he's making it about Canada, and of course the Conservative will always stand for Israel's right to exist and defend itself, living next to a future demilitarized, terror-free, democratic, and peaceful Palestine state. Conservative will focus on what is good for Canada, because it is time to put our country first for a change. I don't like when I agree with Pierre Poliev, but that's pretty much as good as he could have said it. I don't like to agree with Pierre Poliev, but I'll give credit where credit is due. That was pretty bang on, if you ask me. Conservative will always stand for Israel's right to exist and defend itself, living next to a future demilitarized, terror-free, democratic, and peaceful Palestine state. Conservatives will focus on what is good for Canada, because it is time to put our country first for a change. I agree with that last sentence right there, Pierre Poliev. Whoever wrote that on your X account, because I don't think it's you. Bravo. On that note, the last one I wanted to show, obviously, is what Trump has to say about this. Because, of course, Mr. Trump has an opinion, surprisingly.
Is there any use at all in pressuring Israel now to come to some sort of longer-term solution?
Well, you could make the case that you're rewarding people, that, you're rewarding Hamas if you do that. And I don't think they should be rewarded. So I'm not in that camp, to be honest. We'll let you know where we are in, but I am not in that camp.
Mr. President,
because if you do that, you really are rewarding Hamas. And I'm not about to do that.
Is there any use at all?
Is it me or his hair kind of changed? Like when I saw a video earlier, I'm like Trump is like cooler looking now. Like, what the fuck's going on here? He kind of looks more hip. Right? Like, that's why he doesn't have the tie. That's what's weird.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's weird.
Yeah, he usually does, eh? But yeah, no, that's what you'd expect him to say.
Obviously.
Couple comments. We'll take a couple comments.
Yep.
Wise guy says, "How about we mind our own business? The Middle East has nothing to do with us." Yeah, I mean, hard to argue with.
Pow, that's my take.
Derek Sittler is simply the way to frame war as the only option, thus solidifying the continued arms sales indefinitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the arms side has something to do, but this is one of those things. There's not just one interest pulling the strings here. There's a lot of different interests. I'm sure arms industry is one of those interests for sure. But I do agree with the first part for sure, that I feel like if nothing else, this is done just because I think the Israelis decided enough of this bullshit. This is probably our only chance to just fucking take this whole country. And, I do believe that Israel is trying to limit civilian deaths as best they can, because they understand the global geopolitical situation. They understand they're not popular, and they also understand their position is precarious because they do rely so much on the West in general, but also America specifically. I think America sends them like $3 or $4 billion. And if you get too much of the American public against Israel, then they do have the power to shut the tap off, the way that it was basically American domestic politics that ended apartheid in South Africa. Like, American domestic politics can and do shape global events and like the domestic affairs of many, many other countries. And Israel's probably the one most vulnerable. It's not just a $3 to $4 billion that's so important. It's access to the most advanced technology in the world, but it's political cover. It's diplomatic cover to do the things that they want to do or need to do or feel they need to do for their national interest. So I just don't believe that they're out there killing discriminately, not because I think they're great people or Netanyahu wouldn't do it. I'm sure Netanyahu would kill anyone he thought he could get away with. Is that they're not stupid enough to think they could completely get away with it if they're out there slaughtering people left, right, and center. The fact that there are a lot of people getting killed means it's war. It's also like very close, like combat war. And also there's also a shit ton of propaganda, and there's a lot of people who've been killed several different times, if you know what I mean. We've all seen the videos of they have like Buddy being led away in a stretcher or groaning in pain, and then it's like cut and he gets up and goes for the next shot, right? Like, that shit happens. It's going on. So yeah,
it's propaganda for you.
And that's why anyone who thinks they know what's going on in the Middle
we don't.
East,
that's why I'm saying
nobody.
But
knows.
do you know that the U.S. since 1951, the U.S. has given something like $305.4 billion to Israel, which averages to about $4 billion a year. But between October 2023 and October 2024, they gave $17.9 billion. I didn't realize, man, they were giving him that much money for that long. I knew they were doing it, but since 50, what did I say, 51? Yeah, since 51. Wilf, we appreciate the tip, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, we haven't done any sales pitch. Hey, guys, if you're on X, you like what we're doing, make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to reshare this stream. If you're on Instagram, same thing. Like, comment, but the conversation is really going on YouTube. Like, all the comments that you see there, it's all on YouTube. So if you guys want to join the conversation, influence the show, join us on the YouTube channel at the Poli Orphans. If you have breaking stories, if you're a whistleblower, I added that to my things. If you think that there's a specific guest we should have on the show, my email address is at the bottom right now. It's going to show up at the bottom. It's info@nicolagan.com. So just send it there. And if you believe in what we're doing, you have two choices. You can either encourage us by getting a membership on YouTube's $2.99 a month, or you can do like Jeff and give us a tip off of YouTube, or you can use the Buy Me a Coffee that I set up. It's at the top of the screen right there. I think my mirror is inverted, so basically it's at the top there, but the QR code is for you to be able to give directly to us without going through YouTube, and it's buymeacoffee.com/the Poli Orphans. So there's the sales pitch.
Yes. Yeah, no, good, because we forgot about that all day. So good on you for.
Well, you're stoned, and you're normally the one that pitches that shit, right. So you're not thinking about it.
I'll pitch tomorrow. Logan says, Rob, I saw an old video of a Palestinian woman.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're using Photoshop where it splits scarring on the kid's head and then disappear for a split second. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. We've all seen those kind of videos. We know this kind of propaganda is out there. That doesn't mean that there also aren't Palestinians actually being killed by Israel. Of course there are.
I know. Yeah.
The problem is we don't know. We don't know we just don't have an accurate sense of the information flow. We don't know what we don't know, and it's really hard to make any certain assessments in that kind of situation. And so anyone who knows for sure what's going on there, I would say you're either a fool or a liar.
Or both.
Yeah. A little bit of both.
We have like 30 minutes left, so we should do a bit of we should start do a deep dive. I think 30 minutes is good enough to go through that bill. That bill's not long enough, but I thought I would start you guys with a video that reminds me why the fuck I'm gonna fight this bill tooth and nail if I have to organize a fucking Canadian protest on this.
I saved this video too. I was gonna show it as well.
I'm gonna do
exactly what happened.
Why this bill that we're gonna talk about cannot fucking go through. This is why. So this happened in the UK. 2 police officers that I would laugh at in their faces because those are not threats at all. You're not doing shit. If I close the door, you probably can't even figure out how to open the door. But a UK woman was approached by 2 very fucking woke UK police officers to say that they needed to obtain the cell phone of her daughter because she viewed a post online, not because she posted, not because she liked it, not because she commented, but because she saw it. Welcome to fucking UK.
Okay, what was it?
Sorry, I don't like the camera. You can have my body cam. I can exhibit that to you. I just don't like the camera, really.
Okay, well,
she doesn't like to be recorded. Blah blah.
I am telling you why I'm. So I just need to know why would she's basically viewed a post which is not an arrestable offence. Okay.
It happened in May, and you're completely fine. The only thing is, we need to seize the phone at this current moment. The phone needs to get seized from us, otherwise we will escalate this further. So,
but with a voluntary interview. So have you seized anyone else? Is she the only child you're picking on?
Voluntary interview, you'd be able to come.
Have you spoken to anyone else? No, we'll come to the station now.
Do you mind letting her finish her sentence?
Yeah.
She does have to get further escalation, unfortunately.
That's fine. We'll come to the station.
What is wrong with policing in the UK?
We're not able to basically get the phone. We'd have to escalate this further, which means your daughter will get arrested.
For what? Viewing a social media post? Is that
I need to go with her in order to
No, absolutely not.
What can we do to prevent destruction of evidence?
They would have been Sparta kicked in the chest.
That's fine.
What are these cops gonna do? They're tiny little girls.
Okay, I have nothing more to say to you.
How are they
social media posts? I've got nothing more to say. I'd like you to leave. You've harassed this child enough. I'd like you to leave.
Like, do they not need a warrant in order? Because they seem like they just got in. They would have, like Apostle pulled, this is Sparta. I have a very nasty front kick. So none of that gay shit like he did in the movie, an actual real front kick. Those 2 girls would have flew through the windshield of the car that was behind there. Because there's no way, like, they just get in. Like, yeah, fuck no. I would put Dumb and Dumber and just like, not happening. And you have a girl wearing a Kneecap and that little blonde dumbass that's there. Like, are you kidding me? Those are the people you're sending to my place to get my cell phone? Good fucking luck, bitches. Good fucking luck. Like, this was woke police right there. Like, if woke had a face as a police officer, those are the 2 twats that would be... Like, come on. Look at this. What the fuck are they going to do? If I say no, what are you going to do? Do you think that I'll give you my farm? Go ahead. Put the handcuff on it. Just see what happens. Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me?
Man, like, we talk about this all the time. We're regularly saying, look what's going on in the UK. And I'll say, you always see videos of some, it's usually some 70-year-old grandmother getting a knock at 3 a.m. by 4 or 5 cops saying about some posts they made that offended someone. And that's in that same genre. But like these videos are coming out every single day. This is not a hypothetical. This is actually going on in the UK. Now they seem further down the batshit far left woke retardation. I don't know why they have it so much worse, but that is the direction we are heading. And the number one thing you can do to start going in the opposite direction is by fighting against bills like this, because they start with bills like this. This is not as crazy as the UK bill, but it's
I disagree. It's worse.
Wow.
It's worse.
No. The UK bill
100%.
the UK bill uses the word offense. Like all that matters is the other person's offended. At least this bill says a tiny carve out. It says just because someone's offended doesn't mean it's a crime, but that doesn't also mean that
it says that is not what it says. It says if you're scared, because there's 2 documents I sent you. I sent you the bill and I sent you the own government's interpretation of the bill.
Okay.
Like, and you need to read both. This is why it's so important that we're gonna have a lawyer on Wednesday, on Tuesday, sorry, to talk about this, because there's a few things before we go through it, and those are some of the questions I want to ask. And guys, if you do, I highly encourage that you go check the bill. If you just Google Bill C9 or the Hate Crime Act, Google it, you're going to see 2 articles. One is the actual bill, Bill C9, I'll show it to you. And then the other one is the interpretation of Canada.gc.ca. But there's things like there's no time frame on there. If you notice, they don't say when did that need to happen. They also don't specify what a place of worship is. You know, I called that out last week, said that what's a place of worship? They don't define it in that bill either. So there's a lot of things that they don't say because it's about being scared. Like you'll see, like I'll show you. I'll show you the first.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, go man, go. I'll just bring up the.
I would say one of the more problematic things that I saw was the part that says police officers no longer need sign off from the attorney general to to arrest people on these charges. So all you get is that woke cop's opinion. That's it. That's the only thing standing between you and jail is those 2 woke cops that landed on that woman's front door. They don't need a warrant. They don't need an attorney general to sign off on it, which is insane.
And you look at the girl with the Kneecap on, you're not going to tell me that she's going to respect my rights as a Christian. Do you know what I'm saying?
No,
like, you know that she isn't. You know she isn't.
Of course she's not. Of course she's not. And it's hilarious because that's why Christians aren't allowed to wear crosses, because while you're going to, like Christian cops, remember Christian cops we discussed? They're not allowed to wear crosses. Because, well, you're policing them and they need to know that you can treat them fairly. Okay, how does that logic not apply to the guy with the kafaya on or the woman 100%. With the hijab? I have the exact 100%. Same worries. That is a religious symbol as well. It's like their religious symbols are sacred. Our religious symbols, even though I'm not Christian, are not sacred.
Bob, that's insane what Fraser's doing. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking. We're talking about the bill that Sean Fraser, our Minister of Justice, has tabled last Friday. It's called Bill C9, the Combating Hate Crime. And here is the insert from gc.canada.ca under the Department of Justice. They actually talk about the bill. And again, I highly suggest that you guys go check that. Go check the Bill C9 that I will show afterwards, the actual bill itself. It's not that long, 5 to 10 pages long. It's not that long to read. And I would also suggest that you guys go check the video of Sean Fraser when he spoke to the news last Friday. It's like 38 minutes long, but they ask him valid question and he can't even answer them. They ask about sentences, like what are the sentence for hate crimes? And he's like, he starts looking in the bill. He doesn't even know his own fucking bill that he tabled. He's not able to answer any questions. I could answer those questions right now. And I read the bill like twice. I didn't put it together. I could answer those questions that he couldn't answer. But there's the things to remember is what the bill's about. It's about making it a crime to willfully intimidate and obstruct people's from accessing places of worship, as well as schools, community centers, and other places primarily used by identifiable groups. What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that the Muslims that keep on blocking
that stood out to me
is Young and Bloor now, or Young and Dundas? Is that considered a other place primarily used by identifiable groups because they pray there whenever the fuck they want? Does the park next to my place represent one of those two? Like what the fuck is a place of it's not even
that's
about
gonna be huge. That's gonna be very important. What do you mean by place of worship? Does that mean that if 5 of them or even just one of them stops and prays in the middle of the road, I'm committing a hate crime by moving him?
Yep. But it's not even, you know, the place of worship is a problem, but it's that place and other places primarily used by an identifiable group.
What
so
exactly
the
do
Free
you mean
Palestine
there?
people that are always protesting in front of the parliament, they
Is that
literally
theirs now?
protest there every week. Does that mean does that count as other place primarily used by an identifiable group? Is that what I'm
also,
supposed to hear?
Identifiable group is a really dystopian bullshit phrase. What are you talking about? Identifiable? Well, technically, everyone's identifiable. Me and you are identifiable
Unless you're white.
Exactly.
Unless you're white. Unless you're white.
I guarantee you that's not going to be considered unidentifiable. So what? We're unidentifiable. We cannot be identified. That's garbage. You can look at me and tell what group I belong to. But of course, it's so funny because literally the law will be blind to you. The law will not see you if you are not an identifiable group. You will
so you're making it racist.
You will not get the protection of the law if you are not identifiable. Okay, well, I'm white. Yeah, that's not identifiable.
Yep.
So
100%.
That's some dystopian nonsense right there.
So make hate motivated crime a specific offense, ensuring such conduct is more clearly denounced and that offenders are held accountable. During the press conference, Sean Fraser referred to if somebody robs a store that is owned by an identifiable group and you can prove that there was hate behind that specific group which led to the robbery, that's a hate crime. So you're not only robbing the store, but you're hate criming robbery. Like
I just don't like the idea of making certain crimes worse because it happened to any specific group. Because all you're doing is saying that the other group who is not protected in that way is less worthy, less important. And that's literally the whole thing that progressives are supposed to be fighting against. They're supposed to be fighting for equality. But if you say white people are below these guys, because if you attack a white person, you won't get as punished as if you attack that person, then that's not equality. I hate to tell you this, but equality has to include white people. It's like, Jesus Christ, like these woke idiots, but they think that like you can have equality while saying, you know, what's the famous saying from Animal Farm? All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others, right? Like people they're not going to put up with this shit. You can't have a 2-tiered, 3-tiered, 4 or 5-tiered society where some groups are valued more and other groups are valued less. That's what progressivism was supposed to fight against, and now they're perpetuating it. Now they're creating it.
They're being racist. They're literally, that bill's racist, basically. They're making it a crime to display certain terrorists or hate symbol in public. They're giving us a definition of hatred, which I will tell you what it is. Okay. And that's what you were referring to when we first started. Streamline the process for prosecuting hate crimes by removing the requirement for Attorney General consent for laying hate propaganda charges, meaning that the police officer themselves can lay charges of a hate crime without having to first going to the Attorney General.
I don't want those two girls at the beginning of the video. I don't want them to be the full arbiters of if
but fuck those women. Fuck those women. Like, forget those women. Cops said lockdowns were a good thing. They enforced lockdown. They gave people tickets if they were caught outside of their homes during COVID. Cops and other law enforcement gave tickets to people for going to fucking woods. I don't want those people being able to decide my faith and what they believe is a hate speech. Does that mean this? I have a massive cross tattooed on my right hand. Is that an offense now? Because if an LGBTQ alphabet person sees this, they know that I don't like the way they live their life. Is that a hate? Because I have that, is that a sign of hate now that I have on my hand? What's to say that it isn't, right? This is the point. And if you start looking at, obviously they talk about this, right? Like this is how they're selling it, is places protected by the new intimidation and obstruction offenses, which they don't really tell us what those places are. They give us examples, like saying primarily used for religious worship, like synagogue, mosque, churches, temple, and gurdwaras, or cemeteries, primarily used by an identifiable group for administrative, social, cultural, and sports activity
What does that
purposes
mean?
as an
What does
educational
that mean?
institution or a senior residence. So basically administrative, social, and cultural. So that means a park. Basically, you're saying a park, sports or activity purposes. So basically what they're saying is that the middle of a street can become cultural because they're protesting. So you can't go there. I cannot show up to a bunch of Muslims praying in the street saying that they shouldn't be able to do that. That's hate because they were there. They used it as a place of worship. So you know what I told you last week that I was worried what happened is actually happening. They are leaving that space for people to interpret it any way they want. And a cop, somebody that went to college for 2 years is going to be responsible to tell me what the law is? I don't even trust lawyers. Now you want to make sure I don't trust doctors after COVID. I don't trust lawyers. Now you want to make sure I don't trust cops either. Is that what we're going right now? I'm 100% at the mercy of a fucking cop. This is who's responsible for telling me if I'm going to spend 2 years in jail or life in jail. Because did you see what the sentences are? It's insane. The sentences in the bill go up to life in prison for a hate crime. We're not talking about murder here. Fucking Daniel Senecal raped a 12-year-old. He got 1 year in jail. 1 year in jail for raping a 12-year-old. I could face life in prison for hurting somebody's feelings. This is what the bill is about. These are the consequences that we're talking about here. And people need to wake the fuck up to this because this bill is dystopian as shit. This was just the insert by the government. So if you don't want to read the full bill, they give you an idea of what the bill is about. But this is what I encourage you guys to go check. This is at the actual bill. So I believe that the definition is under 318. I have it written down, but I want to see it in here.
It talks about like strong emotions.
Let me just do hatred.
You're talking about a law. Trying to legislate emotions.
So there's yeah, it's definition of hatred. There's a few things we need to read, but they're saying that the definition of hatred is under 319.7, which is right here. Hatred means the emotion that involves detestation or vilification, and that is stronger than disdain or dislike.
That's such a ridiculous statement in a law. So where's the line between dislike and hatred? It's obviously completely subjective. There's no way you could ever prove it one way or the other. So it has no business, that kind of language in a court of law. And with strong emotions, more than disdain. Like, what the fuck is this? This is a legal document they're trying to pass. How can that kind of verbiage has no place in the court of law? Laws can only function with things that can be a yes or no question. They can only exist in are you guilty or not? I mean, beyond reasonable doubt is a standard that it can be met. But how does strong emotion? How does a judge adjudicate whether it was hate or just disdain? How is that even possible?
In the bill, they do not refer to identifiable groups because that is already something that is in the criminal code. The other document that I showed actually gives us, so we know what hate is. Means the emotion that involves detestation or vilification, and that is stronger than disdain or dislike. That's the definition of hate. If you look at what identifiable groups, because this is what they keep referring to, identifiable group is defined as groups distinguished by color, race, religion, national or ethnic origin, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, or mental or physical disability. So literally every single person out there that is not white or mentally stable.
Wow. So yeah, I hadn't noticed that either. That they used gender identity as their so that all that means is what you say you are. So yeah, this is some insidious
Gender
shit.
identity or expression, sexual orientation, sex, age, ethnic origin, mental or physical disability. They sold that bill as a religious hate bill.
And
yet they're pushing that LGBTQ alphabet soup through there.
Yeah. That's true. Eh? They're talking about religions, and then they squeeze in, and also the queers, also the men who think they're women, also cross-dressers. Like, that's some fucked up shit, man. That's
so if I say that a woman cannot have a penis, that is now hatred.
Yep, that's hate.
And you see, the question that I want to ask the lawyer on Tuesday is not only what is a place of worship, but you know that during COVID, churches were closed. So where did the place of worship become? The internet. YouTube, Instagram, churches started streaming online. So does that mean that online is now a place of worship? Because it is not specified. Nowhere does it say that it needs to be a physical place.
Yeah,
they refer to physical places, but they do not define worship place as this is open to interpretation. So what you saw about those two women showing up to somebody's house, this bill opens that door because it's not defined. If it's not defined, that means it's interpretation. Interpretation by who? By police officers that are not trained on the law? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Ambiguity in the law always favors the state and always oppresses the public.
100,000,000%.
Always
does.
That is why just as a general principle, everyone should be extremely supportive or discouraging of anything in any law that is ambiguous. Anytime laws are allowed to be ambiguous, that is always used against you. Always used against you.
So here it says building for religion worship. So they do define what it is. Building or structure as part of a building, or structure as part of a building, a stream and service, a bunch of cameras, that's part of a building.
Yeah.
That is part of the building.
A studio is part of a building.
So that means if I'm streaming online and you come to my comment sections like we have here.
You know this includes online speech.
But that's my point. So, okay, so if you talk about my video, not on my stream, not on my comment section, but you refer to it somewhere else on another post online that you made, but you're talking about my video, you're talking about what I was talking about, does that become a place of worship too? And that you can come after do you know what I'm saying? They don't define place of worship as in a church. They define it as in, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this, it leaves to interpretation. And the part that I really want to stress on people is this place here, because on Tuesday, we're gonna have somebody on the show to talk about this. But here is what's very fucking scary: 5 years if the maximum term of imprisonment for the included offense is 2 years or more, but less than 5 years. B, 10 years if the maximum term of imprisonment or for the included offense is 5 years or more or less than 10. 14 years if the maximum is 10 but less than 14. Life if the maximum term of imprisonment for the included offense is 14 years or more, and up to imprisonment for life. But they do not anywhere in there tell me that what would give me a life sentence. They don't explain anywhere. They say that those are the imprisonment possibility, but they don't have to say if you hateful once, you get this. If you do it twice, you do this. If you say this, if you're that many people that block whatever entrance, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, can you go back to the first one where it said 5 years for
This one,
5
5 years
yeah.
if the maximum term of imprisonment is the included offense is 2 years or more, but less than 5 years.
So that's on top of your offense. So like if you
No,
got
that
2, so let's say the offense was robbery and you got 2 years, but you committed a hate crime because you robbed a Muslim.
of course
They can
it would
add
have to be.
another 5 years, so it's 7 years now for that crime.
That's a
that
good
you would've
point.
gotten.
That's a very good point.
Insane. That is insane. Better not rob Muslims. Stick to
So
Christians.
just you can
Guys,
only rob
rob
white people from now
Just
on.
rob white Christians. That is it. Straight white Christians, the only people you can rob, guys. Like, word's gonna get out, and it makes you wonder. Maybe that was the point.
It's absolutely, this whole bill is absolutely fucking insane. It opens the door to pretty much every single thing we've seen in the UK, but instead of having 20 months as the longest sentence that I've heard up to now, you're talking about life. Life in prison for hurting somebody's feelings that thought that my emotion involved detestation or vilification, but it was stronger than disdain or dislike. So I did not only dislike you, I hated you.
Yes.
Welcome to fucking China.
911. What is your emergency? Someone just said something that hurt my feelings. Was it disdain you felt, or was it more than disdain? No, it was more than disdain. Okay, that's a hate crime. We'll send someone out right away. That's crazy, man. Logan,
but this is the world we live in, bro. All I'm gonna say before you take some comments is that I'm telling you guys right now, I started talking to other content creators about this. I will make a massive fuss about this. I want to organize, I don't know if the protest is the best way, a march, a whatever, how we're going to call it. But I'm telling you right now, we have to fight this. We have to stand up to this.
Yeah.
We cannot allow this to go, because I'm telling you, a guy like me is going to end up in jail for life. And there's thousands of us in Canada that are going to end up in jail for saying the things that we say every single day out of common sense. We cannot let that happen. I'm telling you guys, I will push this as far as I can fucking do it. We will organize something to fight this. People need to stand up to this.
It's
conservative, the non-conservative, conservative party. Oh yeah. No, this is absolutely the hill to die on. This is the one right there. If there's a bill that needs to be fought, it's right there. And literally, it takes you 20 minutes to read it. So the average individual, unlike Bill C2, that's 140 fucking page long. This is literally 5 pages long.
Yeah,
and it's mostly bullshit. Like, you can literally skim through it to the important parts and you'll understand the bill right away. So this is a hill we need. If you believe in free speech, if you believe in being able to say something without being jailed because you hurt somebody's feeling, this is the bill to fight. This cannot become reality in Canada, or else I definitely need to leave the country. I cannot stay here if that bill exists here, because I will get imprisoned.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. And one guy says, "Hey Nico, if you're gonna be arrested, go hide in the woods." Yeah, but then it's $25,000 fine. It's lose.
Yeah,
you can't win.
Logan, one of the best thing that ever happened to me is to have met John Carpe and to be in very good relationship with the Justice Center, and I'm also in good relationship with other lawyers like Leighton Gray, for example. That is another constitutional lawyer. So we're lucky enough, like I'm lucky enough doing the work that I do, that I've approached a lot of people. So I know who I would call if I got in trouble, but I'd rather not go down that road if I don't have to. So we need to fight this. This is the whole point why I wanted to talk about this. We need, no, I'm saying, who do I call if I ever get accused of hate speech?
Oh, yeah,
I have people that I can call to save my ass, to say that they're lawyers. Yeah. So at least I know some of them, which makes me feel a bit better. Yep. But we don't want to go down that path. It's not right. So we need to figure out something we need to educate people about this. This is going to be my job, but we need to organize this. This is going to be the thing I'm going to work on over the next few weeks, is get a bunch of big content creators out there to share the message, to say, guys, we need to do something. We'll organize something. We need to do something about this. This bill cannot stand. This is worse. No. This is the worst bill I've ever seen. It's so open that, and the police officers responsible for taking the decision, yeah, fuck you. This can't happen. This cannot happen.
Yeah, and Logan, to you mentioned John Carpe. So someone from John Carpe's Justice Center is going to be here on Tuesday, I believe. Is it?
Marty Moore.
Marty Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come help us do an even deeper dive. If you guys were here for the Bill C-69 thing, we did our deep dive first, which is what we did today. There's only so deep we can go because we're not lawyers, we're not experts, but then we bring in the big guns. So on Tuesday,
we gave you the highlights of what we see as a problem. We're going to ask, and guys, if you have questions, you have 2 days. He's coming on Tuesday. So if you have questions, mention them here. I'll write them down. If you don't want to say them out loud, send them to info@nicolagan.com and I will ask them. Because we need to know. We need to know.
We'll take it if it's a good one. Sometimes with guests, we don't get to take as many, but if there's a good one, we'll take it.
But the thing is, even if I don't take it online, I have access to those guys, so I can send them an email afterwards, and I will report the answers that they gave me, right? The whole point is we do this for you guys. Hey, what's up, Mike? That's one of my bros right there, man.
That's is it your buddy? Yeah, Mike says, this is disgusting. Yes, someone breaks into my home, I need to accommodate them. Like, seriously, I'm confused. Yeah, that's right. If you rob a white guy, you get 2 years. If it's a Muslim guy, you get 7 years. But at the same time,
because it was a hate crime.
If that Muslim guy, what if a Muslim guy breaks into your house and you shoot him? Is that a hate crime?
100%. 100%.
This is wild, man. You can't. It's a really.
You can't shoot him, but you can't shoot him. You have to explode him so he feels at home.
Oh, hi-yo. But it's just.
I need to behead him. Sorry, I chop his head off.
It's just such a simple principle. We cannot base law and policy by picking and choosing which groups are more worthy of protection. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You have to have the law that applies equally. That's not a hard concept to adhere to. It's actually hard to do it the other way. It's hard to go around and decide which groups deserve protection, which don't. I mean, the people who make those decisions, they will say it's not hard. But the fact of the matter is, the easiest way to apply law is just say this applies to everyone. Then you don't have to have carve-outs. You don't need to have loopholes. It should just be a bedrock principle. All of your laws should apply to everyone equally. Period.
Amen, brother.
All right, guys. Yeah, we're gonna put a pin on there. Put pin inner for the night. It's definitely too late for me. But guys, stay tuned. Excellent show tonight. Lots of audience engagement. If you're watching the show for the first time and you want to support what Nico and I are doing, if you want to help build the community here, please consider becoming a member for the low price, of course, for $2.99 per month. And there is also up in the top left-hand corner, I believe it is, a buy me a coffee option. Guys, make sure to tune in Tuesday because we are going to have, what's his name again?
Marty Moore.
Marty Moore is going to come from the Justice Center and really help us dissect this hate speech bill that, you know, we just scratched the surface tonight, but hopefully even from that shallow dive, you can tell how dangerous and scary this bill is, and this is an all hands on deck kind of moment here. So you'll definitely don't want to miss that. That'll be Tuesday night, and of course we will see you tomorrow night. Take her easy, and if she's easy, take her twice. I shouldn't say that.